She, E. Jean Carroll, would normally be someone I would say, I don't necessarily want to be friends with someone who just won't let it go. They go on and on and on. Dog with a bone, won't drop it. But in this case, I love her. I love her because she won't shut up about it. And here she is again. E. Jean Carroll suing Trump again over those CNN comments. I think his lawyer probably behind his back said, that was dumb. We warned you not to do this. After Trump was found liable earlier this month, I believe it was on the same day, for defamation and sexual abuse to E. Jean Carroll, which a jury ordered him to pay $5 million in damages. Carroll asked a court to amend her initial case to seek additional damages after he repeated his denials during that CNN town hall. Days later. Here's a reminder of some of the things Trump said during the town hall. Listen.
This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. I had a picture taken years ago with her and her husband, nice guy, John Johnson. He was a newscaster, very nice man. She called him an ape. Happens to be African American. Called him an ape. The judge wouldn't allow us to put that in. Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wouldn't allow to put that in. All of these things, but with her, they can put in anything. Access, Hollywood.
This was a jury of 9 people who found you liable of sexual abuse. Do you think that will deter women from voting for you?
No, I don't think so, because I think the whole thing, just so you understand, ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. This woman said, I met her at the front door of Bergdorf Goodman, which I rarely go into other than for a couple of charities. I met her in the front door. She was about 60 years old, and this is like 22, 23 years ago. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me. And we had this great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store. We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later, we end up in a room, a dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register. And then she found out there were locks on the door. So she said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes, you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President.
That was a lot, and I want to get the doctor's, he's not treated the former president, but I'm sure he has something to say. But first, I want to give you more about Donald Trump and how he responded to this new development on Truth Social. I don't know E. Jean Carroll. I never met her or touched her except on a celebrity line with her African-American husband, who she disgustingly called the ape, Trump posted. I wouldn't want to know or touch her. I never abused her or raped her or took her to a dressing room 25 years ago in a crowded department store where the doors are locked. She has no idea when or did anything else to her except deny her fake, made-up story that she wrote in a book. It never happened, is a total scam, unfair trial. He continued on his rant online saying this. The Carroll case is part of the Democrats' playbook to tarnish my name and person, much like the now fully debunked Russia hoax. The 51 intelligence agents, FBI, Twitter files, and so much more, Trump posted. It is being funded and tried by Democrat operatives, although this was denied by them. When they got caught in the lie, the Clinton-appointed judge would not let us use it in trial. Time will prove him to be a highly partisan and very unfair. Where's the dress she said she had? And there's more info on the suit. Carroll's new lawsuit contends that Trump's comments show the depth of his malice toward Carroll, since it is hard to imagine defamatory conduct that could possibly be more motivated by hatred, ill will, or spite. Trump's lawyer filed a notice of appeal after losing the trial. A legal battle, if anyone needs a reminder, stems from an incident at a Bergdorf Goodman's department store in the mid-1990s in which Carroll claimed Trump forced himself on her in a dressing room. A jury agreed. So, Doctor, several things stand out to me when Donald Trump goes on his rants that I need insight from you about: the gaslighting, the deflecting, talking about what the woman supposedly did, much of it not true, much of it unproven, yet he repeats it over and over again, even all caps or shouting. And I wonder what you make of that, because I may know other people who behave in this manner.
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, from a professional perspective, I never talk diagnostically about people I haven't encountered personally. But I would say that the audacity of what we've just seen is a strategy from a political perspective. That it's just ironic that in the very same set of days where there was a trial and Trump was found liable of exactly what he was doing, he then doubled down and repeated the exact same thing that he was convicted of. As you say, a jury heard the case. Trump had a chance to make the argument in the trial that he made on television, on Truth Social, and then has been repeated everywhere, including we just did it here. And so why would he do that? Why would he double down on the thing that he was just literally found guilty of? And what kind of work does that do? It seems like he, of course, gets a lot of mileage out of suggesting that he's a victim of the system. He's got a history of playing to a kind of misogyny trope, that he's a victim of women who just want his stuff. And I guess just the subversion of the system is something that I guess he's calculating appeals to people who support him. And so again, it's just a question of what kind of society are we? Do we want to be the kind of society where these kind of matters are litigated in a court by a jury? Or are we going to be this kind of society where these matters are litigated on CNN and then replayed again and again, and then let him speak this? And so there's really an important question of kind of gender and politics and power that are happening here. I know that Carroll has now refiled, I think, a suit because, again, Trump literally did the thing that he was just convicted of. So it'll be important to see this play out. But for me, the most disturbing part, I mean, Trump is pretty predictable by this point, but the audience laughing about it, I just find really, really troubling, because it just has such horrible implications for kind of what this means.
Yeah, and I want to dial in on that when you talk about the audience and the greater audience at home, who perhaps certainly there were some at home who were also laughing and cheering. And I wonder what that rooting, that leaving what would be for most people normal sensibilities behind just to pick a side does to us as a greater society, because I felt trauma.
And I mean, think of everything Trump did, even in the clip we just heard. I mean, it's incredible, but in a 2-minute clip, he worked in sexism, justification for sexual violence. He worked in racism, misogyny. And so there was an awful lot going on there. I think I've interviewed a lot of Trump supporters, and for them, the allure of Trump from the beginning was this guy who was flouting every standard and just putting it all out there and saying what people think, or not bucking the system. And so it plays into Trump's shtick, which seems to be getting worse, right? This is more extreme. And so again, I think the question for us as a country is that the kind of person you want running the whole country again? I really think that it's not just any person who's doing this right now. It's somebody who has nothing chance of being the next president. And so I really do think that that's the question: is do you want this person with the keys to the castle and the nuclear codes again? And I think there's some real hard questions there.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people perhaps don't realize that this is just one night on CNN, but we're going to be in store for a lot more as things gear up in the primary. Republican side for now, just they'll be duking it out, and then the general election.